Okay, so match 2 here at IBJJ Portland. I'm going up against a very aggressive wrestle style opponent here. This is Ashton, and I'm going to show you guys kind of the strategy that I use to get my edge over these types of guys and stay calm while advancing forward, playing smart, and getting the win. And I know I'm going to get people in the comments being like, oh, you guard puller, you suck. Well, if a guy clubs your head like this and you don't have a meaningful response for it, well, you probably lost the tournament. So I'm going to pull guard, but there's a very specific way in which I'm pulling Ashton directly into a guard rather than just sitting. So I know he's playing very aggressively. I know he's playing wrestle style. So I'm going to get 2 grips here, one on the hand, one on the tricep, just anywhere you can. It could be the head, it could be both triceps, but I'm just going to pull him forward as I sit down. And if you guys haven't seen the guard progression series video, I highly recommend to go watch that, basically using all those concepts in this video. But I'm going to shoot both my feet inside, get my hips directly under Ashton, and even as he tries to step out of this, I still maintain control of his legs, and I'm able to start entangling him into a guard. Now next, Ashton goes ahead and develops a grip with an underhook on my left side, so I'm just maintaining control of those ankles and using my legs to press his leg away and kind of keeping tension on his hips here, and that kind of nullifies his underhook. And I'm gonna start trying to rotate around. Eventually we're gonna scramble. So one of the big problems I notice with people passing is they try to attack torso really fast without controlling the hips, and that's where Ashton kind of gets into trouble. And that's how I kind of develop these double underhooks, is he launches himself forward trying to grab onto my chest, but he doesn't control the hips. So I can press him away with my legs, develop my underhook grips, and then put myself back in the driver's seat. And you guys can see the opposite of this in my last match with Eric. I'm really focusing on controlling the hips before I move to torso, and that's how I'm able to get the edge. But now using the double underhooks, I'm making sure to keep my elbows flared and try to disconnect his elbows as much as I can away from his torso. From there, I'm going to start pressing him away with my legs, start threatening these butterfly sweeps, getting him the post out. And then eventually, as I'm moving him around here, I'll be able to shift him forward, get my chest in front of my hips, and then from here I can stand up. In most cases, I drag the spine into my chest and just flop him over, but Ashton did a good job off-centering himself. And from here, I'll just hula hoop him forward, grab the rear body lock, and then take him for a big swing. So you'll notice immediately as we fall, I'm going for that seatbelt grip, and I'm going to use my left leg to start dragging his heel behind. He spins out hard, so I start threatening that rear naked choke to kind of slow the pace down. I know it's not really sunk in, but just the threat of the choke, he has to defend that, so it kind of takes his mind off escaping. From there, you can see my left hand reach all the way through and grab his far arm, and because his arm is strapped, it's fairly easy for me to start building height and getting on top. Against aggressive or wrestle-oriented opponents, I really like playing headquarters and working on that blast knee cut, just being able to stand right on top of them, push them back down when they're trying to get up. But one thing that I really want to make a note of is notice how tight I'm keeping this knee cut. So I'm almost diving my knee onto his chest, and it just barely offsets it to the side. But even when I do offset it, it's slamming down onto his thigh, keeping him stapled down and keeping my pressure on top of him. I don't want a knee cut out, otherwise he would have been able to get up here. From there, I go cross face, gable grip my hands, and set him back down onto the mat to get the pass. Now, he's going to start using his right arm here to hook my hip and starts going for that ghost escape. And I keep a lot of pressure here on his head, but I know I have to transition fast because if he does that again, I was going to be out of luck. And using that, he's able to get up. Now, here's where the strategy comes in. I'm up 5-0. I know he's a wrestle-oriented opponent, so I do not want to stand, and I'm fairly confident in my guards. So I decide to sit back down and maintain my lead, and we're here to win tournament, not match, right? That's something my coach says a lot. So going into Euros next week, I can have upwards of 6 matches. So I don't need a win in style or win in dominance. I just need to win. So we're taking a very conservative approach here. But regardless, for the guard, everything remains the same. I'm still trying to get 2 feet to the inside, trying to develop upper body grips, pull them in, attach myself to the lower body, and look to elevate. But one really interesting thing here that's very, very important for IBJJF. So as I'm playing reverse De La Riva, you can see me hiding my left foot under my reverse De La Riva hook. And that's because in tournaments like these where we're blue belts and the only available leg lock is ankle lock, I need to be very cautious of them just falling back on that foot. And as I transition into De La Riva, I'm making an even bigger effort to keep my leg under his thigh and just overall avoid any threat of that leg lock and him being able to fall back on it. So as Ashton starts trying to run away, I'm going to invert into a kiss the dragon. And then as I come up here, I'm going to do something very specific. So I take his leg here and bring it onto the other side of my head, hooking it with my elbow. And from here, I'll kind of expose my back a little bit, but I can start sitting up and raises his leg high into the air. Now I kind of make a mistake here and I let it go a little bit too early and he's able to scramble up. I get back to that rear body lock position, but he hits me with this beautiful Uchimata, nearly break my arm as I'm posting, and we're back to neutral. Again, I'm up 5-0 with an advantage now, so we're not going to completely stall, but we're going to play smart and play to our strengths. So I pull guard again. He goes in for a knee cut. We use the Kiss the Dragon to kind of ward him off, and he starts locking onto this foot. So from here, I immediately turn my knee inward to try to avoid that foot lock. And I think about going for the bolo here because I've been working on that, but we're playing game plan. I don't want to do anything new, get in trouble anywhere. So I go back, just defending the foot and looking to free it. From here, I go 2-on-1 on the arm, and I'm trying to stutter him for just a second. And as I feel him kind of like slow down, that's immediately when I explode up, push him back down, and I'm able to score 2 points. So knowing his game, it would be really not smart of me to back up and start to work the outside pass. So I maintain control of the ankles and I'm playing really tight. And that almost gets me into trouble here as he starts playing very correctly with the head tension and grabbing the tricep. So pulling me into this butterfly scenario, keeping it tight. So I'm still working towards the outside. As I start to cut around that leg, he tries to get up. But what I've noticed with a lot of wrestlers is as they're trying to get up, they kind of expose that other side of their back. So I run around, find the rear naked choke, and that's how we won round 2. But stay tuned for round 3. We're fighting Eduardo Chavez. And you guys, if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know who this is. But it'll be scrap, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and go pass some guards.